Y'all miss me? Shout out to all those who, you know what I'm saying, everybody's seeing this shit for bringing forth Marduk and bringing forth all this other fly shit that y'all just gave to me. Activating these sigils by collapsing them into your reality while viewing this video. Thank you. This video, but this, you know what I'm saying, I've been last 2 weeks since I've been fucking making videos and whatnot. So much work, man. Like so much work, so many different new creative ways to do things, so many ideas that was brought forth into reality that, you know what I'm saying, I got confirmation on. A lot of ritualistic work, a lot of spiritual work, a lot of reading, a lot of applying, a lot of, you know what I'm saying, experimentation, all of that, all of those things. And it's put me at a point where it's just, you know what I'm saying, just another upgrade, you know what I mean? Because it's all about constant growth on this path. It's all about challenging yourself on this path. But one I wanted to talk about today was raising children, being a husband, or, you know what I'm saying, a household in this world as, you know what I'm saying, for the lack of a better term, a Luciferian, or as Lucifer, left hand path. You know what I'm saying? What ways, what practical methodologies you go about, you know what I'm saying, raising your children in this world we in, this chaotic world, you know? So, you know, like I told y'all before, I ain't gonna get too personal on this shit, but, you know, I got 3 daughters. I got a wife at home and shit like that. So, there's no one way to go about raising your children. You know, it's just not in the book. You just gonna have to, you know what I mean, you're gonna have to test it out. You know what I mean? Nobody wrote the book on this shit. But knowing me, knowing what I am, knowing that what I am is being like, you know what I'm saying, something else, something different. And knowing the potential of my genetics, all of that shit went into play before I decided to, you know what I'm saying, bring a god or a goddess into this world the night I got my wife pregnant, you know what I mean, and having my daughter or whatever. So understand, I got 3 daughters. So, and my stepdaughter, I came into her life when she was 4 years old. But when I had my first child in 2011, you know what I mean, going even before that, I knew that I was different. I knew that the child I was gonna bring in was gonna have, it was gonna share certain, not just genetic traits of like the outward appearance of what I look like and things of that nature, tall, stature, and all that shit, but more so the psionic potential and the metagenetic potential within her. I was gonna see certain traits, certain mental things, certain spiritual correspondences that was gonna correlate with me, with my child. You see what I'm saying? So, and knowing that, you know what I'm saying, like my other child as well, you know what I mean, that I had, whatever, it's the same thing as far as the subtle nuances you were able to pick up, the connection that you have with your child or whatnot, in the way that you can, for lack of a better term, speak to their cellular structure, speak to their genetics, and like speaking to their mind and being able to get them to do certain things without you actually telling them, without you verbally speaking to them to tell them, but more by like symbolic representation of your body language, the way you move. It's like, you know what I'm saying, it's very, very weird, but I know most people ain't up on that shit, so it's really hard for me to, it's not really hard for me to articulate it, but it is easier for me to articulate it with a motherfucker who understand what the fuck I'm talking about. But, so how do you go about having all this power, literally like being like a god amongst humans in your everyday life when you go home and you're raising children? So I give my children full creative expression and being able to exhibit anything they bring forth as far as their ideas and their creativity. And one of the things that I've understood, you know what I'm saying, since raising children, especially daughters in this world, you know, this world is very harsh on women and just nature and divine feminine in general. And most people, 99% of people would say that's fucked up and that's just not right. It shouldn't be like that. Where I understand that from a human perspective, but from a deeper alchemical perspective, the environmental conditions and how women or this feminine energy is being treated on this planet is 100% conducive for alchemy, for alchemical transformation, for taking the environmental stresses and traumas and just repetitious thinking and thought forms pertaining to suppressing women or suppressing feminine energy is condensing and suppressing chaos. But you understand that chaos always gonna manifest itself. So when you condense chaos, it's you just building more momentum and intensity of it for when it sprouts, it's gonna blow this motherfucker up. That's chaos energy. You see what I'm saying? So knowing that my kids is in a, you know what I'm saying, I brought my children here, and you know what I'm saying, that's daughters or whatnot. I give them, like I said, I give them full expression to be able to be creative and express their imagination. You know what I mean? Playing with them with my action figures while they have their dolls or whatnot, all kinds of shit. And I know that all children come into this world from the void, from the spiritual world of darkness, of chaos, into this light, this false light spectrum we under, with fear of the dark, with fear of the things that go bump in the night. You see what I'm saying? So I take that opportunity for them to be afraid of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't necessarily try to get them not to be afraid of it, but what I do is use that fear in ways to introduce it to them, for them to face it, for them to cultivate it, especially as women, building the confidence within themselves to be able to overcome any obstacle, not take no shit from nobody, and understand that being a woman, being a vessel for creativity and life and death and birth and destruction, chaos potential. But knowing that, but being responsible for it, you know what I'm saying? And whatever that my children manifest within their subconscious minds and bring forth into creation, it's coming from them, being that they're the center point of it. You see what I'm saying? Now y'all saying like, what the fuck? Y'all talking this metaphysical jabber mumbo jumbo? How the fuck you articulate that to your child? One of the ways that I articulate that to my children is through symbolism, through sigils. Like my children, you know what I'm saying, I understand that they natal chart and all of that old fly shit. I mean, I have servitor entities that's basically like bodyguards, you know what I mean? That, for a lack of a better term, these servitor entities got niggas like Satan and Cthulhu as like handmaidens serving these motherfuckers. So they my children, I'm overprotected when it comes to my kids. So just like any other predator would be of their young. You see what I'm saying? But knowing that the genetic potential that they have with me being different, me being something else, knowing the metagenetic potential that they have in the dormant, latent powers that they have within them that can sprout, that's being cooked, so to speak, by the environmental pressures of this world, that this world presents to it, that this world of matter, how it's suppressing and trying to hold down, you know what I'm saying, chaos energy. It's just this entire world that I created and that you find yourself in is 100% conducive for alchemical transformation. So, but knowing that they're eventually gonna develop these powers, knowing that my children are gonna develop these gifts, these abilities that people attribute to being superhuman or being supernatural or paranormal, knowing that it's up to me to not control them, but to steer them into the direction for when these abilities sprout, when they finally manifest themselves, you know what I'm saying? When they become activated genetically and they activate and turn on, but to direct that energy into ways that is going to be conducive for their development going forward, where it's not going to be destructive, where they can take that chaotic potential energy that's being activated and to put it and direct it into a lifestyle, a profession, a sport or whatever that's going to be conducive to their personality trait based on their natal charts, and that's going to bring them the life that they desire, bring them the manifestation that they want to bring forth into this world that they create from their subconscious mind. And it's up to me as being the orders, being, you know what I'm saying, going to give them order into how they're going to direct that energy. But I'm not suppressing it. You see what I'm saying? Most fathers suppress their children. They tell them they can't do this, can't do that. I allow my children to challenge me on certain things. You see what I'm saying? It's a growing process for me as a parent to see my children, you know, be able to speak for themselves, be able to have the self-confidence to challenge me as a father on certain things. You see what I'm saying? that's going to help. That's going to be beneficial going forward into this world, and being able to not take no shit from nobody, especially no man. You see what I'm saying? But also understanding the role of a man, understanding the role of masculine energy, understanding the role of order, and being able to use that as the way to direct their own chaotic potential that's going to be necessary for them to be able to develop the things that they want to develop in their life. Through, you know what I'm saying, through the subconscious mind program. One of the other things that I use as well as ways, weaponized language patterns on my children. You understand that words and language program DNA. So when I speak to my children, it's an intent behind it. I can tell them, they could be loud in the room. I'll be like, shut up! You know what I'm saying? It's time to go to fucking bed. You know what I mean? Be quiet. I might not use the F word. I don't really cuss at my children like that. But for me to yell like that and to get them to be alert and hearing my voice, a lot of times the intention behind it is I might be giving them a subliminal message that's encoded with that loud shout that I just described, to go to sleep tonight and manifest the dreams that you want in your sleep to bring forward into your life when you wake up. It may be some shit like that, or to dream about eating watermelons at the carnival, some shit like that, something elaborate, just to test it. So when my children wake up, a lot of times I ask them what they dreamt about, and they tell me exactly what I directed them to dream about, and they got that directive to dream about that or to manifest that within their dream state or the astral plane from me yelling at them, using the energy of that yell to activate them to speak to their mind in a way that is subliminal, where they didn't know it, but their subconscious mind picked it up for them to go about the directive that I gave them to go about that on their dream state. I use that a lot. I use that a lot of ways that I could incorporate that, not just with my children, but just me communicating with humans. Period. It's weaponized language patterns and having an intent and having a you know what I'm saying, desire to, you know what I'm saying, speak your words into empowerment in the individuals. You know what I'm saying, but not just speaking your words, but encoding them with intention and willpower. You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that I use like that, but having children, man, being what I am, like I don't really try to explain or try to be some super duper motherfucker around my kids. You see what I'm saying? I allow my kids I want them to view me just as being a father. You see what I'm saying? I know how valuable a father is to daughters or to children in general, but especially a black father to, you know what I'm saying, to my daughters in this world. You see what I'm saying? So, because growing up dealing with females who did not have a father at home made them susceptible to all kinds of manipulation. I mean, just all kinds of fucked up different things happen when a father is not present in that child's life. And I always knew I would never, you know what I'm saying, be that. You know what I mean? I know that the child that I brought into this world, or the creation that I brought forth into this world, I am 100% accountable for and responsible for. But at the same time, I don't own my children. You see what I'm saying? I don't own my children. My children are their own entities. My children are gods or goddesses. They're just as powerful as I am. You see what I'm saying? They have just as much metagenetic potential as I do. My whole thing is I'm at a point where I'm able to understand my role in their life and the way I could finesse my energy and finesse their energy to bring about everything that they want to bring about within their own life. You see what I'm saying? Through symbolism, through sigil magic, through weaponized language patterns, through embedded commands, all kinds of different things. Through shit I set up in the house, the altars, the servitor entities that I got working for them. Like, so my children are never, I can speak telepathically to my children. I can speak telepathically to their genetic structure, their DNA. That's the shit I'm on right now. Being able to speak to that directly. Not just the mind, I'm talking about the cellular structures that they're in. But understanding that we're not connected. This space-time illusion. It's an illusion. Being able to experimentations on the Higgs boson field and string theory and blood and how it's connected, how the DNA is connected everywhere, and especially with your children, especially with those that you have a rapport with, especially with those that have some deep, profound connection with you. You can speak to that directly. You see what I'm saying? There's ways that you can do that, but it's all like I tell everybody on this video, to be responsible and to be responsible when wielding this power. You gotta have the mental wherewithal to even build yourself up to even have that as an idea that you can be able to do such a thing. You see what I'm saying? So it's all kind of different. It's all kind of different ritualistic shit I've done over the years to build my currency of light up, to be able to acquire or activate these abilities that a lot of people like to call metagenetics, metahuman, the X gene, whatever, you know. But having daughters in this world as a man is what I've learned so far is that it's a powerful feeling. It's a hell of a fucking experience to look at your children and see yourself in them. You see what I'm saying? It's wow. It's like, wow, I'm looking at a mirror of myself in the form of a female. And it's funny. You just got to take a look back and just laugh at the shit. You see what I'm saying? So, like, you know what I'm saying? My daughters, I have a Virgo, a Libra, and my stepdaughter's a Cancer. And my wife is Aquarius, like I am. Now, all of them, they don't know this, but I have all their natal charts. I have their numerology name breakdown. I have the gematria name breakdown. I know what days of the week they do certain things, think certain ways. I know all their weaknesses, all their strengths. I know how to communicate with them individually in a way that's going to be beneficial to their personality makeup. I know what things to say to them, what not to say to them. And sometimes I say things that I shouldn't say to them to generate a certain emotional stimuli in them to be able to unlock something else down the line, or to be able to send a thought form projection within their subconscious mind based on the emotional stimuli that I elicited within them for further instructions later on down the road. It's all kind of different methodologies that you can go about applying that, but understanding the role of language and emotion and feeling is very very powerful weapon to utilize. But like I said, be responsible for it. Be responsible with it, and know the risk of going haywire with this shit. You see what I'm saying? I'm dealing with the tapestry of creation. I'm dealing with the tapestry of reality, and that is the subconscious mind. And also, even under that, the superconscious mind, or the unconscious collective, being able to tap into that to manipulate certain groups of people who have a cluster form of thought forms that's magnetically attracted to object or person, place, or thing. It's all kind of, you know what I'm saying? This is for motherfuckers who really doing the work. Not just spiritual work, but just mentalism, and just understanding what you are as God in your reality. There's a lot goes into this shit. It's not just saying it. It's not just doing it. It's just being it all the time and knowing that you plugged into everything that you observe within your reality. Because God is in all things. Everything. So, like I said, there's no one way to raise your children. You know what I mean? I'm not talking to dumb motherfuckers when I'm speaking this shit. I'm talking to motherfuckers that's advanced on this shit and that's well established in their own spiritual integrity and their work that they put in through years of studying and years of applying this shit. It's really not for the newcomers, so to speak. But just know that you don't own your children. Know that when you're looking at your children, you're looking at shards of your chaos energy that you brought into ordered existence that's manifested in themselves as a man or a woman or a girl or a boy. You see what I'm saying? Understand the responsibility that you have. And if you do choose to have children going forward, you need to, why are you doing it? You see what I'm saying? Why are you having children? Ask yourself that. What's the intent behind it? Is it for selfish reasons? You just want to do it to keep up with the Joneses? You want to do it just to, you know what I'm saying, to have somebody to fucking take care of you when your ass get old, to wipe your ass and shit? Are you doing it for lonely? You doing it, you know what I'm saying, because you trying to get back at this nigga? Or you trying to get this bitch pregnant because you trying to hold her down? You don't want no other nigga to fucking get that pussy but you and shit like that? You know, you need to be clear of mind. You need to be sound of mind and body and intention. You know what I'm saying? What do you feel when you think or generate the idea of bringing forth a child into this world? All of those things should go into play before you decide to, you know what I'm saying, bring a spirit into flesh. My whole intention behind this shit was to bring a god or a goddess into this world, and I did. So now it's up to me, being a Titan, how I'm gonna not control them. I'm gonna finesse the energy within me and within them to put order to their chaos, so to speak, where it's gonna manifest in something that's gonna benefit my daughters going forward. And it could be in any and all avenues, whatever expression that they need to, whatever they came here to do, they gonna do it. Another thing that I've used in the past, and I'm gonna get back to it now, is using binaural real programming within my children's rooms, or just within my house in general, and brain entrainment using isotronic brain waves and acoustics, neuroplasticity, and being able to build neurons and to fire off neurons within the brain by sound. So I've done that before with my kids for like a week. You know what I'm saying? Both of them having certain things playing within their room at a low level. You know what I mean? Allowing it to reverberate within their room, to bounce off the walls, and to be absorbed within the wood, and, you know what I'm saying, in an enclosed area. And for them to be able to absorb that energy, absorb that sound, let it reverberate within their mind, let it reverberate within their cellular structure, the bones, speaking to their DNA, to activate and to unlock certain genetic potentials, or all genetic potentials, but more so to unlock the creativity in their imagination, to be able to not only speak to spirits, but to see spirits. I want them to, you know, be able to eventually get up to the point where I am, where I can see spirits, where I can communicate with the dead, or I can communicate with, you know what I'm saying, a person's astral double or whatnot, to be able to see through shit, to be able to pick up an object and have psychometry and just be able to tell all the emotion that went into it and all of that shit. You know what I mean? I want them to be able to do that. So like right now, my children, I got one of my kids is in school, two of them in school actually, and I have one at the daycare center. Like right now, I can focus in on one of them. Let's say my daughter Gabriella, she in school. And a lot of times this is what I do. I can focus in on them. And I can feel what it is that they're feeling by tapping into their, you know what I'm saying, their nervous system. And I can put a shield over them, so to speak. Or activate a certain chakra, like color green, which would be the heart. Or the color orange, which would be, you know what I'm saying, your sacral area. And I can envelope them into that energy right here where I'm at by using remote viewing. You know, I know she's in school. I know the layout of the school. But say, for example, if my daughter was somewhere that I've never been physically, but I'm everywhere. I'm God. I'm everywhere. I'm in all things. So how would I be able to pick up on that radar? How would I be able to see where she at? It's simple. Become my daughter. I am my daughter. My daughter has a DNA connection with me. To me, you got to think about what that means. So I can go into a meditative state. It doesn't take me long to get into it. And I could be my daughter and be to the point where not consciously take her over, but more so be in a back seat within her subconscious mind, viewing her observable reality from where she at, to get the layout of the environment or building or place where she at, to be able to see it, feel it, taste it, smell it, and touch it. And I'll be able to, that's how I know, that's how I can pick up where she at, or can pick up what she experiencing, or to pick up on the thoughts of everybody within the environment, how they see my daughter, what they thinking, what they're feeling, what their intentions are. You see what I'm saying? You can do that. I do it all the time. My wife at work, and it's a stressful environment. She has a lot, it's a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. But to me, that means a lot of cortisol. It's cortisol energy within that area. So a lot of times I can feel that. Use that cortisol or that whatever the fuck you say, that stress hormone that's generated from the brain. I don't know what part of the brain I'm about to say it right now, but that energy that's being produced from that brain, it's a energy. Transmute that energy, and I can use that transmutation of that energy to direct it to her to calm her down, to relax her. Because I'm connected with my life. And it's not just genetic to having sex with her, but that's my wife. I'm married to her. You see what I'm saying? I can go in there and I can make her send a thought form to make her feel relaxed, to make her feel calm in the situation, to make her feel secure in the situation. You can use this, all kind of different means you can use this and apply this. It don't have to be just at work, but just know that you can do this. Know that it's possible. I'm telling you, it sounds insane. It sounds absolutely bonkers. It sounds like some shit you see in a Marvel movie. My life is a movie. You see what I'm saying? And once you get the confirmation of this shit, once you get the self experience in doing this shit and being able to activate certain abilities and certain gifts, it's not a gift. It's just, you what the fuck, you all powerful. It's up to you to realize that shit. And then it's up to you to activate that shit. And then it's up to you to wield that shit and to be responsible for it. Like a good friend of mine mentioned that a lot of the things that, the book of Genesis was written for us and being able to be responsible and wielding this power within humanity. Knowing our role within creation as being the you heard it, men of renown, Nephilim, Anunnaki, whatever character you want to attribute to us or whatever we are, that's what we are. But knowing that you have the tapestry of creation and the tapestry of human thought and mind in your hand every time you go about communication with it, every time you just deal or immerse yourself within your observable reality. Knowing that you have this responsibility, it takes great focus, direction, and oftentimes, a lot of the time, suppression of this energy. You can't go buck wild on this shit because you could cause damage. Environmental damage, all kind of different damage, period. You can cause unlimited amounts of catastrophe on this plane of existence when just going about this shit haphazardly, not with no focus. My kids fucking phones. But yeah, know that you can do this. But above all, know the power that you hold and the role that you play with your children, whether it's a little boy or a little girl. Be present. Nurture their creativity. Speak to their higher ideals. Don't try to get them to automatically do what it is that you're doing. My kids don't, like that. Some of them like the comic book shit, the geek shit I'm into. They might fuck with it a little bit, but I don't try to get them to, no, you're going to watch this shit with me because I want you to be like me. No, I let them do them. You see what I'm saying? And I immerse myself with the things that they're involved in or interested in. So that's what you got to do, man. If you, if you give a fuck, or not, you know what I mean? But yeah, shout out to Ravana Noon, my nigga. Cosmic Serpent, my nigga. Narwa. And above all, I want to give a shout out to my sister-in-law, Michelle, who's provided me or just reconfirmed, and just invigorated me with just confirmations and downloads of my potential, my influence, and being able to manipulate my reality, or to be able to manipulate target individuals that I choose to target and implant thought forms of an assortment of different ideas and different, you know what I'm saying, sorceries and magical workings and whatnot, especially in creating thought forms. So this video is titled "Thank You, Michelle." That's why I want to thank her for that. It's giving me access to a whole new realm of possibilities. It's like somebody just gave you $1 million and they told you that you, after you spend $1 million, you can just come back and get another $1 million and you can have that shit forever. That's what she's provided for me and don't know it. So for every action, there's a reaction, you know, cause and effect. So I want to thank her for that. From the bottom of my heart, I'm humbled. I'm excited to see what's next, to see what potential, how it's going to manifest, but it's up to me to wield it, shape it, put it to order. So I want to bring about that manifestation for me going forward. So I'm going to thank her for that. That's why this video is titled "Thank You, Michelle." But yeah, springtime. You know, pick out the cloud, make that motherfucker explode. Or clear blue sky. There's no clouds in the sky. All right? Create them. Create a cloud. How the fuck are you gonna create a cloud? Think about it. You got it. You can create anything you put your mind to, right? The mind is all the universe's minimum. Mind over matter. You got it. Go create it. How the fuck would you create a cloud? Well, easy. You connect it to all fucking 4 elements, and you being the 5th. God, you know what I'm saying? The generator, operator, and destroyer of your reality, your creation. So if you were to want to create a cloud, just look in the motherfucking cloud, look in the sky, go into a trance-like state, and you can use your hands, your ball to form a cloud within your mind. Or you can just use, you know what I'm saying? Don't look, you don't want to look in the sky. You don't have to. You could use your imagination, because the sky to me right now is in wave form. So if I want to generate a cloud, I'm just going to focus on creating a cloud within my hand that's going to appear in the sky when I'm done being in that meditative state. And just feel it forming in your hand. Feel it. Feel what it feels like to form a cloud, whatever that means to you. You know, and you want to attract or attach that creation of what you're doing, that potential to create a cloud, with an emotion, with like feeling. Be pissed off. Anger to get shit done. And next thing you know, you got a new cloud in the sky. Peace. You welcome. Do it, man. I do this shit all the time. Not just with clouds, but like with all kinds of shit, man. But I had y'all motherfuckers for 33 minutes. But just know that, you know what I mean? I got a lot of shit in store. A lot of new shit we coming up with Ravana Noon, Cosmic Serpent. You know what I'm saying? The part 2 of the sex magic talk or whatnot. We're going to be dealing with that. You know, this topic of discussion today was brought forward from Nyx, my girl on IG. You know what I mean? Shout out to her. But yeah, thank you, Michelle.